Good morning, Singapore. It's Glenn, Angel, and Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, and thank you all, the listeners and viewers, for coming for Third Man Syndrome. And those that came and say hello to me, I was like celebrity moment, you know. I was like, oh my God. But thank you all for following Therapy Tuesdays and listening to what we have.
Yeah, I remember that, and that's
Yes,
ended,
superstar.
right? That was a nice one.
Superstar.
I borrowed from the DJs. But then I felt a little bit embarrassed. So those that saw me and said hello, they got the awkward Jerry, because I was like,
Right.
oh my God, I didn't expect this.
So you're wondering why I didn't go down. I didn't want to steal your spotlight.
Nonsense!
Star, watashi wa star.
Don't listen to it. All right, so what are we talking about today, Dr. Cherry?
I mean, there was this recent article about this 11-year-old boy who was found in the water. I mean, before that, he was lost. You know, there were a lot of articles going out on social media trying to search for him. So, you know, unfortunately, he was found at ECP in the water. So I just thought, you know, maybe we could talk about how to approach someone with ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder.
Because someone would have seen him along his journey.
Maybe,
you know?
Maybe. And they may not know how to approach him or anyone with ASD.
What would they have seen? You know, what kind of behavior would have put them off trying to help him?
I mean, we would discuss it along the way during the session, you know, but ASD is actually a neurological problem or a condition where they manifest in behavioral symptoms. They have social issues, so they may not engage with us in a way that we are comfortable with, and they may not be able to articulate to us what exactly is going on.
Or what they need, where they live, everything.
Oh, well, they might know where they live.
Okay.
If you ask them directly and they have been taught many, many times, they might know and they might rattle off their address.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
So sad though. I remember that. I think you were in Bangkok.
I was in
at that
Bangkok
time,
when I read the article.
About it, right? And I was sharing out my stories, and I was looking at so many of my friends as well going down to East Coast to try and look for him into that East area, Katong, you know, Marine Parade and all that. And everyone kind of rallied together to look for him.
And I guess why we're talking about it is because sometimes we think of the social media or the movies that depict ASD in a certain way, like the rocking back and forth,
Rain Man and all that.
Yeah, the repetitive movement, which is possible, but sometimes it's not as overt as, you know, that we can see it straight away. So we might look at a person and say, this person is a little bit weird, a little bit strange, but we don't know that they have ASD or they have needs.
It's not easy. It's not easy to identify because some people are affected a little bit more than others. Some people are just on the spectrum, but very mild as well.
I'm not putting any blame on anyone, but this boy definitely looked very different because he was without a shirt, he was without shoes, and he was just wandering the streets.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
really?
he was. Yeah, he was shirtless and slipperless.
Oh.
So he would have already stood out, you know.
Right.
I'm not saying that it was anybody's fault that they didn't find him early enough or they didn't approach him, but right away you would have been able to tell that something was not right, you know, just being out there. I think it was at night or morning and then into night.
Yeah, but you know, it would not be strange if he is by the water.
That's
and
true as
shirtless.
well.
But he's 11 years old. I mean, he could have asked someone for help.
He was non-verbal.
Yeah,
mostly.
he was
Yeah, but I mean,
non-verbal.
he has autism. It's not like he has dementia. or
No, I
anything
know,
like
but
that.
the article from the parents said that he does not speak.
He does not speak.
Yeah, does not speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's continue this conversation on the Big Show TV. Okay, 11 years old, doesn't talk much, or doesn't talk at all.
It's not great verbally.
Yeah, so he probably is on a level 2 going to 3. So there are 3 different levels of ASD. So level 1 is they require support. They may be verbal, but they may be a little bit awkward in their behavior and how they put things across. They may or may not have any behavioral issues, but you can see that they approach things somewhat differently. So they do require support in the environment, because they would manage things in a way that we might feel uncomfortable because they're trying to deal with things on their own, right? So they would need our support in that sense. So requiring support. Now, level 2 is a little bit more. So they are able to converse, but very limited. They're very restricted in how they view things. Okay. And in their environment, because they're trying to make sense of the environment so much, they are more repetitive behavior. So they're more restrictive in their behaviors. So any sort of change in a timetable perhaps will cause maybe a bit of a meltdown, or they would be quite resistant to change. Then level 3 is requiring very substantial support. So these labelings are actually from the DSM. Okay, so level 1 requiring support, level 2 requiring substantial support, and level 3 requiring very substantial support.
And where would this boy have fallen under? You think 3?
It's probably a 3 where they have very severe deficits with verbal and non-verbal communication. Yeah, so they are very focused, they are very narrow in however that they see the world, and they would need a lot of our assistance. So this boy probably would need a lot of support from the parents.
The poor boy, I mean, I saw the pictures of him. He looked very young. He looked younger than his 11 years, you know?
Yeah.
He looked like a 7, 8-year-old.
Yeah, he probably, I mean, I don't know how conscious he was of his surroundings, but you know who I really feel sad for? His parents.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, how tough is it taking care of a child on that kind of spectrum?
Yep.
You know, it's probably so hard every single day taking care of a kid like that, and they did it for 11 years.
Yeah, and I'm sure they feel very guilty, which that comes naturally with a case like this, right?
Yeah. I mean, no parent would want to lose a child and lose a child so tragically.
But I wouldn't want them to feel guilty though, because they have done
of
so
course.
much.
But I mean, I think it's not. I don't know, Dr. Jerry, is guilt the kind of feeling that parents usually get when something like this happens?
Guilt, and they get blamed. So how do they run away from that feeling of guilt? They already feel guilt, and they are made to feel guilty because they are penalized, right?
Yeah.
There are people are telling
By
them,
the public.
yeah, you know your child is like that. How come you still permit your child to leave the house? How
What
come
were you
didn't?
doing?
Yeah,
to
what were you
hell with
doing?
all these people.
Yeah, but it happens.
yeah,
I mean,
but-
even within family members, you would see a spouse and a wife saying like, what were you doing when the child was doing this?
Then cut ties now. Cut.
But
Forget it. All these people who cannot support you in such a great time of need do not belong, I beg your pardon, in your life. Really?
Yeah.
Right? Don't you agree? Dr. Jerry, as a psychologist, if there are negative people around you, people who are making you feel bad,
Even worse,
cut them
yeah.
off. That's your
Well,
advice.
if you're in a toxic environment, right? But
Yeah.
if let's say you still can foster that communication, that engagement, that understanding, I would invite everybody to try to do that. That is being kinder to each other.
'Cause I've heard of so many stories where parents who lose a child don't end up staying together because there's a lot of blame within, and there's a lot of memory from that moment, the moments that they shared with their child and together.
But I also know many parents who stay together.
As well. Yeah, of course.
So those are they grow stronger. They are more understanding of each other. They have gone through something together. The birth and death of a child. So the relationship is sometimes stronger also.
No parent should ever bury a child.
No
Yeah.
parent. Yeah.
One day we should talk about guilt.
Yes.
Because I think that is something that can mess people up big time as well.
Yes.
Many people should not be feeling guilty, but they're feeling guilty for some reason.
Yeah,
and
I
then
agree.
they mess
Yeah.
their lives up. That's what we should be talking about as well.
Guilt. It is a very it eats us all up.
Next
it's like
week.
a poison.
You're alive. I feel guilty for nothing. Nothing.
So you don't feel guilty?
Guilty for what?
Yeah, exactly. So you don't feel guilty about anything.
I
you
felt a
mean.
bit guilty the last time I made you cry.
Yeah, the only
But
time
only
you
for
made me
15
cry.
minutes, and then I was okay after that.
Yeah, he did though. He
Angel
apologized.
So I'm like, this one cries
Yeah.
very easily.
I do. Yeah, he attacked me. Yeah, all the girls were here. They saw it.
Oh no!
Not physically, verbally.
I was like, oh my god.
It's like, what have I done?
Yeah, what have I done?
What did you
But then actually
do?
over the years, I've made all my partners cry. I swear.
Yeah, there you.
I've made FD cry. I've made Joe Augustine cry. I've now made her cry.
This is
Question
not,
is, come September 15th, will I make Timo cry?
This is not a badge of honor. Neither is it a
No.
something you should aim for.
No lah, of
Yeah,
course. No,
it's
nothing-
you. You should be looking at yourself.
It was not my fault actually.
Oh.
She was just like a bit hypersensitive.
Oh,
Oh
well,
no! Now he tai chi did.
I know. I think it was
you.
his fault. Yeah, his language was a bit harsh,
He's
and it was
trying
his
to look
tone.
at the
And then the girl
girls
said
too.
my voice was a bit loud.
There you go. See, and your tone was a bit,
harsh.
Yeah, it could have been gentler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you made 3 people cry. So
Yeah.
if you're racking them up, then something must be wrong with the giver, right? So I'm just
There
saying.
you go. Just like
Just
I've
saying.
been divorced 3
There you
times,
go.
right? So yeah.
So there's one common factor.
Okay, I'm glad we're talking about this. I'm glad we've put this out there.
Yes.
There you go. Everyone's going, oh, poor Angel. But yeah, like, actually, I felt bad
Yeah.
for
Good.
15 minutes.
Good.
Okay, back to you, Jerry. Let's talk about autism again.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I thought it was getting a bit dry there. That's why I needed to bring something up.
Oh, now don't insult Dr. Jerry now.
No, but I have some friends who behave like they're autistic.
Oh
Can I
my
just
God.
say? Especially after a few drinks. I wanna, man. Okay, let's go back on it. Okay, so today we're talking about ASD,
Yes.
which is autism spectrum disorder.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for us not to be lost when dealing with them, so we talked about like the verbal interactions that they might need a lot of help. We talk about their behavior. So I just want to go into some of these things, right? So the verbal interactions with them can be quite interesting. So many of them, especially the higher functioning ones, they are very articulate. And you can hold a conversation with them.
When you say higher functioning ones, you mean the ones who are affected
So
in
we're
a
talking-
milder way, is it?
Yeah, so we're talking about the level 1. So sometimes we refer to some of them as Aspergic in the past, right?
Aspergic, right,
Yeah,
okay.
so the average IQ to above average IQ, and they are able to conduct themselves in a social setting. They are able to talk to to different people, but you will realize that their use of language is a little bit different. So sometimes their vocabulary can be different. So you can say the same thing as them, but their understanding and our understanding can be somewhat different. Same, but different. And we would need to pause and go, what do you mean? Or sometimes they appear very curt. They're
Right.
very direct and to the point because they're very concrete. So very direct to the point. And sometimes we look at them and go like, why are you so rude? But they're not giving us attitude. They're not being rude. They're actually really just trying to grab whatever that they know that they have practiced and deliver it. Yeah, so they would so some of the teachers actually share very interesting stories about their students in school. So the students, because they learn to say "yo babe" to the
teachers?
they assume that it is the
okay.
right way and a casual way of calling someone, right?
Yeah.
And then they go up to the teacher and go "yo babe." with not the same intention, and that is really funny. I mean, not funny to the teachers.
Yeah.
And the teachers will need to remind them, hey, I'm Miss So-and-so, or I'm Mrs. So-and-so. Please address me correctly. And then once they're told, they know what to do. So you need to give them very direct instructions, so you cannot go round and beat around the bush. So if, let's say, someone with autism is seated at one of the chairs that you want to sit in, simply just tell the person, this is my seat, can you get up?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. They will do the same thing to you, but they're not being rude. They're just being very direct.
But we
and
should at
factual.
least say please, right?
So please and thank yous are things that we grind and teach them and try and push them to remember until it becomes a habit.
Okay.
But even with that, it comes out very, very strange or very
Yeah.
awkward. So can you get out of my seat? Please.
And it also seems rude, yes.
It still seems rude, right?
Yeah.
And then they would say, "Oh, I had one of the adult boys with autism, and he says, I'm done with my session. Thank you." And he just walks out of my room, and
But that really does
know,
sound like some people.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't know, yeah.
Some people, it's like, as in regular people, but with no manners.
Yeah, yeah.
well, maybe they have an underlying disorder that we
Maybe
don't know.
they're like level 1 but highly functioning. You never know.
Okay.
Okay. We'll just call them, yeah.
I will ask the person, are you autistic?
Are we? So is that something that we can ask people living with autism?
They might or might not know, right?
Okay.
And some of the different disorders may overlap with one another. Yeah.
Okay. Before we overlap with news, actually news is coming up.
So just
Okay.
a question that I asked earlier, like if we were to run into someone like that boy that was on the East Coast,
Yep.
what would we have possibly seen? From what you've read,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, he would have been walking, he would have been hiding. Like, what do you expect the storyline would have gone like? Without spreading any rumors or anything, because you've done this for so long.
I mean, it's okay. So wandering is something that a lot of it has been researched that they tend to wander around. Okay, I'm not sure what they're looking for, but they do kind of wander around to explore the world. I suppose they are trying to make sense of the world also, right?
And it's East Coast. He was without his shirt. He was running around. Looked like a regular kid, maybe playing in the East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the East Coast.
No one would have
just,
given a second
and,
look,
and
right?
just running back to his house. Did he take the underpass? He probably
know.
did.
We
right?
don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. So one thing we do know for a number of them, especially the level 2 and 3, they don't have much eye contact. The level 3 also would not have eye contact or extremely fleeting eye contact. So if you see somebody walking like that and not making eye contact with you, you might not feel a need to actually look at the child again or the person again to try and figure out, is there something wrong, as opposed to someone that is neurotypical and is lost and is wandering around and is
Looking for help.
Yeah, and this person might look you in the eye searching for help. But the child that is wandering around does not even know danger.
So, but that's a good tip though, because lots of people do go down to the East Coast and wherever it is, parks and whatnot. And if you see anyone kind of behaving like that, you can at least perhaps keep an eye on them or see if they're safe, right?
Yes. And I think the police would be very, very willing to just come down and just assist and also assess the situation.
Why don't we put tags on autistic people of like, okay, you're talking about 3 levels, right? So the most serious level is level 3.
Yep.
So the level 3 people, why don't we tag them?
So some of them do have the
Lanyards.
with a card.
But that can be taken
stating-
out, right?
Yes. So yeah,
You're talking about like a tracking device or
Like-
something.
Yeah.
Like, if you're
Like the ankle devices.
the ankle devices.
Right.
Exactly.
Like the home, what do you call them? The not probational, what do they call them? When you're out from jail and
Bail.
they tag
If
you.
you're on
on
bail.
the
bail.
geotag, right?
Jail tag, yeah.
The
that sort of-
Yeah.
geotag.
But maybe not as big or anything. It could be something like a wrist tag as well that doesn't
I
come
think it's
out.
necessary.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think it's really, I think it'll be very helpful.
It is an idea, but again, I think with all the therapies and everything, this is another cost for them.
Right.
Yeah.
So at least make it an option.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's no option, right?
No,
Nothing
there
like that.
isn't, but it's a very good idea, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
with a little tracker. So Max Tan has come on and said, is it rude when you ask someone whether he or she has autism?
I don't think they will particularly take offense, but I don't know whether some of them know that they have the
Okay.
condition, because not everybody comes forward, especially if you're level 1. You may not come forward to have the testings done and a diagnosis done or given, So most of the time we would interact with the level 1s where they require some support, but they're actually quite conversant, and they kind of just look a little bit different from all of us or do things differently from all of us. So they might not even know that they have autism.
You were talking earlier about the IQ levels not being very high, right? You said there was
So
something
level
about that.
2 or 3 and 3, level 3 may have their IQs compromised also.
Okay.
Okay. Level 2 possibly, so it could be average to lower IQ level.
But then you see something like Rain Man, or you see someone like Einstein, and I think they all were living with autism of
Yeah.
some
Einstein
sort,
as
right?
well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So but then the IQ levels were so high, and then Rain Man, he was like,
Yeah.
he had a photographic memory. And
These
stuff.
are the savants.
The savants.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But what levels?
But
are
Rain
they?
Man seemed like a level 2, actually, to me. Dustin Hoffman.
What would he have been?
So, I mean, of course, our scale cannot capture everyone, but Raymond probably would be a level 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I can be a
Savants.
psychologist. So.
Yeah.
Just one thing you say. So tell us
Yeah.
more about savants then.
The savants. So they have a part of the brain that is very advanced, as opposed to other parts of the brain that develop slower or may not be developing as fast as that particular part. So they may be able to play the piano very well, play by ear, but they may be nonverbal. Yeah. So, or someone that can draw very, very well, but
Can't communicate.
they can communicate, or the daily living skills, which is your toileting, your eating, and everything, needs to be looked after by someone else.
We used to call these people like prodigies, right? The ones
Yeah.
that were just like
Like I know
play
this
the
guy,
piano.
Munish.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he's autistic or not, but
But
I
he's
mean,
very smart. I mean, he's got a photographic memory. At
yeah.
least.
So he remembers all these
Random dates.
all the radio DJs here in Singapore, and there are quite a number, past and present. He remembers everybody's birthdays, everyone.
No way.
Yeah.
Drop of a hat. You
Wow.
ask.
We're
him.
talking about at least like maybe past and present DJs, maybe over 50. As in over 50 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
40 to
okay.
50 people. He remembers everyone's birthdays. He also remembers the bus routes here in Singapore. He knows exactly what number to take from from anywhere.
And a bit socially awkward, but yeah, not very, very harmless. You know.
Yeah.
Yarim is saying, I struggle whether or not to validate someone who self-identifies as autistic, just because they qualify a very small portion of the autism criteria in this very inclusive age. How do I go about handling this?
Okay, so I always caution people when they self-diagnose. Go to someone. This is a clinical diagnosis. You cannot diagnose yourself with autism, with dyslexia, with ADHD, with depression without going to a professional.
Yeah.
So-
it's so strange, right? If like,
Yeah.
for example, I'm diagnosing myself right now and I go like, okay, Jerry, I think I'm autistic. Chances are I'm not autistic.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
you know,
It's like you won't know it, or will you?
you might see some of the symptoms because the web has all the signs and symptoms out there.
So does TikTok.
So does TikTok, and the young ones love to go to TikTok to try and diagnose themselves. But it's as bad as saying I've got a kidney problem just by looking at all the TikTok videos, right?
Yeah.
And you might have genuinely a pain or discomfort or some of the signs and symptoms, but you're not a doctor. Neither are we. So please go and get that properly diagnosed, because it might be something else, or it might really be a kidney problem, right? Yeah. So similarly for mental health conditions, it's the same thing.
CY is saying...
Are we all in pain right now? I mean, anybody here in pain?
Physical pain?
Physical pain?
No.
You know what's painful right now? My ass. But you know why it's painful? Because I played pickleball over the weekend. No. So I know the problem.
There is a reason.
Yes.
Okay, CY is asking, what are the comorbidities associated with ASD, especially for those reaching adulthood? Do these comorbidities vary for different levels of ASD?
It doesn't mean that there are different levels and the comorbidities are different, but they may manifest differently and stronger for certain levels also. So sometimes we have the 1 and 2, actually all 3 levels. They can have ADHD also, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which makes them more restless. So they move more, they're more impulsive, they appear to be aggressive. Now the other thing is, I want to remind people that someone with autism does not mean that they are aggressive.
Yeah.
They're not, right? But they can appear to be a little bit more forward. Their actions a little bit louder or more in your face.
Yeah.
So you might feel a bit more intimidated, but they're actually not aggressive. But sometimes when they melt down, so your level 3s, when they melt down and they are in that zone, they may not know that they're hitting at you or scratching you or, even biting you. I think I've mentioned before one of the cases, right? Because they're very sensorial. So they're either hypersensitive or hyposensitive. Hypersensitive, they don't like touch. Hypo, they need touch. So they're constantly like rubbing on you.
Hugging.
Or hugging you. So there was one of the little boy that I knew he didn't like touch. But me being me, my love language is physical touch. I went, "Hi, sweetheart," and then I touched him. I wanted to give him a hug. Immediately, he dragged my hand over and bit it.
He bit your hand.
He bit my hand, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Did he draw blood?
No, he didn't
okay.
draw blood, but it was a distinctive
mark, right.
bite mark there. And I suddenly was like, alerted. Oh my God, I
doesn't like
forgot.
Oh, right.
And I apologized to him, right? I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Auntie Jerry forgot that you don't like touch.
And how did he respond to that?
He would just pan face.
Right.
There's no reaction. So it can appear like they are very nonchalant. They can't be bothered. So sometimes when we are interacting with them and we're talking to them, they might not have any expression, especially the 2s and 3s, or they're very captured in their own thoughts and they're just expressing whatever that is in their mind. They're not reacting to what we are telling them.
So they're not reacting, or it's not going in at all? I mean, are they absorbing what we're saying?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. Just that they when they react, it might not be the way that we want them to.
We're not
we have
expecting.
we have expectations, not them.
Bernard Ching says, I work in a music school and I have a Savants student who is non-verbal, but he can play all musical instruments just by watching YouTube once.
Wow. That is amazing.
It is. Faith Lim has said, I would think special needs sounds a little bit better than autism.
So special needs is a broad umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah. So it encompasses many different things. So your special needs also encompass like Down syndrome, global developmental delay.
Dyslexia.
Yeah. So those with needs. Yeah. It doesn't specifically just mean autism.
And it could be in physical needs as well. Right? I mean, someone who can't walk or...
Person with disabilities, PWD.
Actually, autism doesn't sound so bad.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, some maybe maybe, I mean,
it's better than some of the terms we used to use growing up. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it was very different
like
where we didn't.
autistic. Sounds like artistic.
It does. It does.
Right.
And
You know
some
what I
of them are very artistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless retarded.
That's what
That's not.
I was
yeah.
gonna say that. I mean, that was the word that we grew up with.
Correct. We're calling all our friends
Everybody
retarded.
was retarded, whether
That's
they
true.
weren't or not. And
It's like, hey, what's
it
wrong with
wasn't
you?
a bad
Hey,
word,
you
you
retarded
know?
or what? But actually, it's not that bad also because it just means you're a bit slow. And for some of us, we are a bit slow.
yeah, it is true.
But then it
yeah.
became like a very
Bad word.
Yeah, it became taboo.
It became like
word.
nobody is allowed to use it now.
Yeah, now no one uses the word, right?
No, it's a very passe, old-fashioned word. Yeah,
Let's not
yeah.
bring it back into fashion.
Yeah. Maybe just use it on the old people.
Oh no, because they'll get it.
They're the ones calling us
Oh, me,
retarded.
Yeah, but you know, when we interact with them, it's just all these little things, just being aware of it, right? Yeah, and not being affected, because I do
Yeah.
know some people take things very personally.
They are hypersensitive. Actually, people are very sensitive these days, right? Too sensitive, too
overly.
too woke
Too woke,
already.
Yeah. So these.
Okay, wait, choke. Shalini wants to throw something at you, Jerry.
So yes, please, if you sense somebody is a little bit different, don't hesitate to go up to them. Don't take things personally. A lot of don'ts today,
Don't touch.
Don't touch also. Whether they are hypo or hyper, just don't touch them. But
Wait, hypo means can touch. Hyper.
hypo, they will come and they are more affectionate to you. But I would say don't touch also, because
Yeah,
we
like,
don't
of
know.
course,
Yeah,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So, just ask them, where are you going?
And who do we call? The police?
You can call the
police,
police. Yes. If the police, it's a known case, especially if they wander around, they would tell you directly. If not, then they would, bring the child or the adult to the station. Yeah. Yeah. So you're not responsible for
I tell you,
the
members
young
of the public, if you're not very sure, there are always neighborhood police posts,
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
heartlands.
Everyone's got a mobile phone to
So,
call, right?
Yeah,
So easy.
I think better safe than sorry.
Even if you're unsure,
You
somebody would have seen this boy again, not blaming anyone, but if someone had even a smidgen of suspicion that the boy was lost or running away from home or being abused or whatever, maybe just call.
Yeah, in this capacity especially.
Yeah.
Even the old people sometimes, they are wandering around.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, head to the nearest neighborhood police post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if not, they have nothing to do anyway.
Yeah. So if you see a
Plan
kid wandering, if you see a kid wandering around, ask them, "Can you key your phone number into my phone?"
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then you call the number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they know the number, great. You can call the parent straight away and let the parent know the location. Same thing with an adult. If they are able to converse with you, you ask, where are you going? I don't know. Oh, can I call someone for you? Can you key your number in? So
Yeah.
you don't have to touch the person, but you can try and communicate in a non-threatening way.
But it's a high chance they won't be able to recall their number.
Oh, they do. They have
Really?
very good memory. Yeah. So once they encode it into their brains, they will be able to deliver.
And I'm
Okay.
sure certain things they have encoded, like addresses, phone
Yes.
numbers and stuff,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes. But if they don't know, it doesn't matter. You've got your police there. Our police force is always on hand to assist us.
Wonderful. Okay, what's your
Yes.
quote for today?
Wait, before I go to my quote, I know I'm running out of time. I'm going to give everyone a homework. So we're going to watch a movie on Netflix, and the movie is called Unknown Number, a high school catfish.
Ooh,
I think.
catfish.
Yeah. So I was told this documentary, and it's only an hour plus long, but oh my god.
But it's about catfishing.
It's about catfishing.
Okay.
But it really was quite dark.
I was going to watch Inspector Jende actually.
What in the world
Okay,
is
I guess
Inspector
I'll watch
Jende?
this first then.
It's just an hour plus long, and then we can talk about it next
If
week.
you
I
can do Bollywood, you can
watch
do-
your catfish show. You watch my Inspector Jende. How about that?
Oh no.
This is probably like 4 hours.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy. It's a feel good show.
Anyways, I will consider. But for the viewers and listeners, unknown number, high school catfish. It is. It has several darker themes in there. If you cannot stand these sort of themes, then don't watch it. We'll just talk about it next week.
But what's the point of watching this, though? What do you want us to learn?
She's talking about catfishing next week?
Catfishing.
Yeah. That's quite serious.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so on the topic for today, I always use this to end our ASD topic. The Maori word for autism is takiwantanga, and it means in his or her own time and space.
The Maori word, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I've seen that.
I bought a new golf shaft yesterday. Guess what it's
You are
called?
so off topic.
Guess what? No, it's not off.
Okay,
Because
what?
she just gave me that name.
What?
Chichibu. So you got a funny... There you go. I mean, you came up with a funny name, so I'm coming back
She
with a
didn't
funny
come up
name.
with it. It's a Maori name. Maori phrase.
What's the Maori phrase again?
What's the Maori?
The Maori phrase
If
is
this phrase is for...
Takiwantanga.
autistic.
Huh?
So autism, the translation to Maori is takiwantanga.
Takiwatanga.
Maori.
Yes, Maori, but it said Maori in the New Zealand.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Takiwatanga.
I was like, where's the chichi boo boo?
Yeah, the labubu.
I was trying to search my notes.
Like, why are we talking about, like, a name...
Takiwatanga.
Yeah, why? Okay, never mind.
Because we were talking about autism all day.
But we're not talking about
the Maori word for autism.
Okay. Anyone Maori here?
Oh my god!
This is what I mean.
Anyone play golf besides you here?
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted. Point taken. Point taken. Thank you very much, Jerry, for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
All right. Catfish next week, huh?
Catfishing.